we are all good. Hey.
Yeah, I was wondering why for a second there I could only see myself.
Well, we just wanted to be able to make you feel very special today, Mike.
I always feel special, Brad. I always feel special.
Hey, guys. Wow, I can't even remember our own intro. Welcome back to Dallas Geek. I'm Brad, that's Mike, and down below us is our friend David, who we brought in as a special guest to, we'll say verbally spank Mike around the call for Star Wars. So, Mike, would you say that is an accurate description of what's about to happen?
No, Brad. No, I would not say that's an accurate description of what's going to happen. What you're about to see is somebody that they maybe once looked at as a father figure, put them in the home for good.
Wow. Okay.
Listen, boy, you will respect your elders. And when I get done with you, I expect an apology.
Okay.
At what point
there's
has Mike
something that you
ever
and I know will
respected his
never
elders,
happen.
honestly?
Yeah, there's a little trick there. I'll grant you that one. But he has had to apologize on more than one occasion.
Name one time. I really don't.
Wow.
God, I'm pretty.
Oh
I'm
my
so
gosh.
pretty.
Anyway, before we dive too deep into this wonderful back and forth, guys, if this is your first time watching us, thank you so much. We have no idea how you found us, but we do appreciate it. Do not forget, if you have not already, to please go follow and like the video over on Facebook, and of course, like the video and hit the little subscribe button over on YouTube. And of course, if you like our stuff but don't have time for the videos all the time, we do have the audio for all of our interviews and live streams over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, and Stitcher, because there are still some of y'all out there that use Stitcher. So, cool.
Who the hell still uses Stitcher?
No. I mean, who used it in the first place? People, and you know what?
No.
We love them anyway. So, hi.
I guess it's doing better than Twitch nowadays, isn't it?
Better than Mixer. It's Mixer that died.
Mixer, that's what it was.
Yeah,
It was Mixer. That's right.
Sorry, Microsoft, but
No.
meh.
No. I'm not sorry.
Well, that's fair. So, guys, if you did not see the description of our video, this is going to be a friendly back and forth debate between Mike and David about whether or not the prequels or the sequel trilogies of Star Wars was better. We're not touching the original trilogy because that was perfect. Don't you dare try to smear the good name of the original trilogy.
You're right. It's perfect except for the last.
Don't you dare smear it. Now, the other two trilogies, that's up for grabs. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into the internet cesspool that is the Star Wars debate of the trilogies, and we're gonna see which one comes out on top or not on bottom, depending on how you choose to see it.
So first and foremost, since we're going into the internet cesspool, do we need earplugs, floaties, goggles, any of that stuff, or are we just getting all kinds of diseases jumping head first in?
I mean, I say go for all the above. I mean, it's the internet. I don't trust any of it.
Well, Michael, you're going to need a tetanus shot for sure.
Yeah.
When was the last time I had one of those?
That's a very good question. But you know what? We're about to find out.
Sorry.
And hey, we actually have, real quick, we have over on Facebook, we got Franco jumping into the comments already, saying that the prequel trilogy is better. Because, of course, the sequel trilogy didn't even have a purple lightsaber, so what are you doing?
Franco, I knew I hated you for a reason.
Franco is my friend now. I don't know him, but thank you.
Well, you like him. Now, guys, just quick ground rules here. No cursing, because we don't all have access to a censor button. So, no cursing.
I do.
We're keeping this at least semi-family friendly. And, of course, most importantly of all, hitting below the belt is perfectly okay. Just, you know, I'm the moderator, so if I choose to toss a little back and forth just for kicks, I will. But otherwise, I'm going to try to keep y'all in your corners when necessary. So,
no referee worth a damn has ever said hitting below the belt is okay.
this is Star Wars and the internet. It's always okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're on the
okay.
internet,
All right,
man.
fair.
Come on, seriously.
That's fair. That's fair. Very fair.
Yeah. So, jumping
How are you
in on
gonna wear a
this.
Legend of Zelda shirt when we're debating Star Wars? You weenie.
I just threw something on. Oh, you want me to go? Oh wait, hang on. You're right. I'm sorry. Let me bring my friend into the conversation.
Oh
yes,
of course. That is what you sleep with at night.
Oh yes. Oh, he's cuddled up right next to me.
I'm sure.
You know
he
what?
is.
That does not surprise
That's
me
right.
whatsoever.
That's right. Kiss the ring. Kiss the ring. That's right.
Oh, I'll deal with your love for JJ in a moment. Trust me.
What's that? He saved 2 major sci-fi franchises? What's that? You're welcome? What?
Saved? Are you really going to say saved?
Okay, boys.
He destroyed.
Okay, boys. Let's go ahead and start in our corners.
Hang on. Yep, hang on. There you go, JJ. Wait.
Yeah, that's right. That's where you would keep JJ is above you because you would have to be below him.
That's right. Wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what she said?
Yeah. Michael's obviously a bottom, so.
Nothing wrong with that.
With that, guys, let's go ahead and jump in. David, since you're defending the prequels, you get to start. Give me your quick bullet points. Why is the prequel trilogy better? Go.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Age first. You don't have much time left on this earth. Go ahead.
I've got more time left than you. So, first off, you have to go that the story is better. If you take the 3 movies and compare them to the other 3 movies, the prequel story is better. It gives you an origin. It starts off the series and it kicks off the entire Star Wars line and gives you the origin, how Darth Vader became Darth Vader, how the twins got separated. All these things come into play in the prequels.
Mm-hmm.
All you get from the sequels is a rehashing of the original trilogy, just for millennials. That's all it is. The characters in the prequels are stronger than the characters in the sequels. I'm sorry, Darth Maul versus Finn. I mean, really?
Well,
Let's
okay.
take Count Dooku versus Snoke for crying
Okay,
out loud.
I'm going to jump in on that one. You're saying Darth Maul versus Finn. At least Finn had some lines.
Oh!
Darth Maul had 2 lines, and became such a beloved character. They had to bring him back in Clone Wars.
Okay, that's fair. That's totally fair.
They're not going to bring Finn back. Rise of Skywalker, he gone. Bye-bye.
Ooh, don't tell John Boyega that. I think he'll have some thoughts.
So the performances, if you want to go character performances, they're both bad. I mean, I don't. The acting in either one of them, I didn't really feel was. The sequels became who's going to cameo where.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Kevin Smith going to be? Where's Daniel Craig going to be? It became too much of a Hollywood whodunit, and you don't necessarily get that with the prequels. The effects, I'll give you the effects in the prequels are overdone considerably, and the effects in the sequels are better. But you also have to go, let's see, 2005 versus 2015. There's a 10-year gap that, yeah, the technology is going to get better. So, I mean, I look at it and I can't find like a real reason to say that just from a movie standpoint. I can get into storyline and we can go back and forth on a whole bunch of other things in regards to the sequels versus the prequels, but just those alone make the prequels a better movie setup than what you get with the sequels.
Okay. Mike, your response. Why is the sequel trilogy better? Go.
David, you ignorant slut. Let me put you straight.
Okay, so first off, I'm not ignorant.
With those arguments, you were, sir. So let's go ahead and just... Overall filmmaking. Better movies. Better cinematography, better directing, better writing, and better acting. Period. Done. End of discussion.
Better writing?
Now, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Defend your points.
Cool. So I will use the example of essentially you have the strongest peacekeeping force in the galaxy at the time that can literally sense life forces around them not being able to sense the one person that is literally going to kill 50% of the galaxy. Now I get that it's their hubris and it's their pride and it's their, oh, surely there can't be a Sith anymore. Except for the fact that Yoda felt every individual Jedi dying across the galaxy, and even he couldn't pull his head out of his ass to figure that one out.
I believe the line was, dark side clouds everything. I mean, can you keep up with the movies enough to understand these things?
Okay, so dark side clouds everything. Okay. I'll give you that one, a throwaway line. Cool.
Oh, it was so in your opinion, it's a throwaway line.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's a. Oh shit! I need to think of something real. Oh yeah, the dark side clouds everything. Okay, cool. Then let's move on. Yes, because George was so well known for his dialogue.
How many credits exactly does JJ have as a writer, Mike?
Let's see. Showrunner, executive producer, creator of Lost.
No.
I mean,
writer.
to be fair, he doesn't even have a credit for writing for the sequel trilogy either, though, so...
Yeah, storyboard credits.
No, actually, if you look on IMDb, he has, for Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker, he does have writing credits.
Does he?
Yeah, story. Yeah, story by... Yeah, story by, and then Kasdan did the screenplay for, if I remember right, it was Kasdan that got the credit as the writer for the screenplay.
For which one, Mike? Come on.
For Force Awakens.
There you go.
So he does, but he does get a credit for it. So my point
right.
being, Michael, is that your love of JJ, he only has 25 credits as a writer.
Okay.
While Lucas has 163.
Cool. So one of those credits is Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which was the bastardization of another beloved franchise.
It was what now? I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, you know, Brad.
What?
You know, Brad.
No, I've never heard of this thing. What are you talking about, Mike?
It was another beloved franchise that he bent over and had his way with.
Okay, A, family friendly, and B, I still don't know what movie you're talking about.
Yeah. Harrison Ford being about 40 years too old to be running around in the jungle.
I didn't see him run, did you?
Well, that's just it. He was trying to run.
Well, it was either that or crash another plane on a golf course. So,
I would rather watch that than watch Harrison embarrass himself trying to do that.
I thought you were supposed to be defending the sequel trilogy, Mike. What happened to that?
My point, Michael, is that there's a huge disparity in writing credits. JJ is a producer. He doesn't write anything.
And a director.
How many directing credits does he have?
8, 9? How many does Lucas have?
16.
How many does Lucas
16.
have?
See, Lucas has 19.
Directing
Still
credits?
got more. Directing credits.
Movies. Not TV, movies.
Directing, well, JJ doesn't have 16 credits as a movie director. Most of this is going to be him doing one-offs on The Office, for crying out loud.
Brad, are you looking that up, or do I need to?
I pulled it this afternoon.
Yeah, of his 16 directing credits, only 5 of them are movies.
Which ones?
That would be both Star Wars, both Star Treks, and Super 8.
Okay, and then you're forgetting Mission Impossible 3. So that's actually
sorry,
6.
sorry. My bad.
Oh.
6 movie credits.
So you keep failing to mention anything about Mission Impossible because, is that franchise dead yet?
No. And he actually helped get it back on track, shockingly.
Back on track? Have you watched one?
Yes.
See, that shows the level that you have fallen, my friend, because after the second one, I was done. I haven't seen a single Mission Impossible.
Sure. So I just want to point out, Lucas's directing credits are the prequel trilogy, the original trilogy, American Graffiti, a short film in 1971, THX, Filmmaker, 6867. So he basically did 7 movies, 6 of which all were in the same genre, and actually under the same story.
American Graffiti, THX. It doesn't. My point being is that who has more in the field?
Sure. Who has more quality in the field?
That's a debatable point. I'm talking about factual numbers. You're saying, quality. That's beauty's in the eye of the beholder, which is why you're so ugly.
Sure.
But,
funny. Cool. Hey, Brad,
Okay,
really quick.
Gentlemen, back in the corners.
No.
Back in the corners.
No. He
You.
wants to. No.
Back in your corner.
I don't get to.
Back
I
in
don't
your
get
corner.
to counter his point.
Back in your corner.
Brad gets to put baby in the corner.
I don't get to counter his point.
Back in your corner. Since you clearly don't want to actually defend the sequel trilogy, you just want to bash the prequel trilogy, we're going to go ahead and jump on to the next topic here. David, please support your evidence for the better writing in the prequel trilogy. Go.
Okay, so the prequel trilogy actually has an original storyline. It starts with the Phantom Menace. Now, you can argue the semantics of the writing, but the storyline is original. It didn't come from another movie. Force Awakens is nothing more than A New Hope rewritten and not better. You go to Attack of the Clones. Again, it's original storyline, not rehash of another original trilogy movie. The writing's not original when you're basically plagiarizing it. I mean, I don't know how to make Michael understand that in The Rise of Skywalker, when Lando says from the back of the room, that's the way we did it, all he just said was, yeah, they copied everything we just did, all 3 movies. And then you throw in a cantina scene or a casino scene just because, everybody was bored. I can't figure that one out for nothing.
Are you telling me that your definition of a unique writing for the prequel trilogy was that they were unique, not necessarily that they were good in terms of the writing?
I can argue, you can argue semantics if it's good or bad all the time because everybody has their own flavor, right? Mm-hmm. It's not a question, it's a matter of personal taste. For me, I look at if it's original, it's better than a copy of an original, always.
Okay.
So I can look at it and say, I believe that the writing for those 3 movies is better than the writing for the final 3 movies just because the first 3 are original. They didn't just pick and choose. They took all the ideas out of the original trilogy for the sequel.
Okay. Mike, rebuttal on the writing, and please stay on topic this time.
Well, I was trying to, and then you cut me off, but sure.
Uh-huh.
Rebuttal on the writing. So I just want to be clear. So bad dialogue mixed in with, hey, this guy's going to be this person in 20 years. Hey, this bad dialogue with this Death Star thing. You remember this thing? That's good. Now, you can say that it's not original. That's fine. I have always made the argument that because it's not original does not mean that it's not good.
Okay.
You had better character development. You had better development of a villain, for crying out loud. Darth Maul got 2 lines, then got cut in half. Then was actually brought back in a different form by a different creator and actually fleshed out properly.
Who did they
Whereas
develop?
Lucas threw him away.
Who did they develop? Ben Swallow?
Yes. I'm sorry. Wait, did he not get a character arc that started, progressed, ended?
Progressed to what? It was a petulant child swinging a lightsaber around, in a temper tantrum.
You're right, and that was
second movie, throwing a temper tantrum. Third movie, throwing a temper tantrum until his mommy dies, and then he's got to go run and save everything because, oh crap, I screwed up.
Well, that sounds a lot like Anakin Skywalker that everybody loved, because we all loved to see the rise of Darth Vader from a whiny bitch to the biggest badass in the galaxy.
Once again, we don't have a censor button on this, Mike.
That's fine. The Jedi don't trust me. I'm so powerful, but no, they won't give me the status of master. I don't want Padme to die, but 10 minutes later, let me go slaughter younglings, because that's, relevant somehow.
Shows the full turn to the dark side. I don't know what you don't understand about that.
So, conflicted. 20 minutes of development, automatic turn.
You've got, what is it, Ben Solo, coming back from the light side when Leia dies. Just like that. That's character development for you?
No, you saw his character development. He got more character development in The Force Awakens than Anakin Skywalker got in an entire trilogy. Because Anakin Skywalker was a whiny crybaby the entire time. And then threw a temper tantrum, and then murdered younglings.
And Ben Solo threw a temper tantrum all through Force Awakens, all through the unbelievably bad Last Jedi, so much though that he is screaming, "More! Blow my uncle up!" I mean, seriously, how was that character development for you? When he screams more, it's literally like, tight my restraints and lock the door. I mean, I don't know where you can go with that and say that that's character development. He got louder.
Mike?
He did. He got louder.
And then, they let him take his shirt off.
You're going to tell me you didn't like seeing that?
No. It did nothing for me.
That was something to aspire to.
Please.
Even with the high-waisted pants?
Yeah, that dude looked like he could break a frickin' wall with his bare hands. Come on. No force needed. Dude looked like he could punch through a steel door. Dude,
I feel like you're 2 seconds away from pulling up a picture of Adam Driver and saying, "Choke me, daddy."
I mean, I'm to the point JJ's got to be getting jealous up on the shelf over there, for crying out loud.
But you had an actual arc where Kylo Ren was being manipulated by Snoke, and he was trying to be something that he wasn't.
Was he really being manipulated by Snoke? Was Snoke so powerful that he couldn't feel a lightsaber being turned beside him as it slices into him?
Or, what was it that he was saying when that was going on? He turns his blade on his true enemy, thus striking him down. Almost like Snoke knew what was going to happen. Almost like that was the plan for him to actually aspire up to the level that he needed him to be.
Oh, I want you to kill me because that's going to prove how powerful I am. I'm
trying to think. Strike me down now and I'll become more powerful than I...
So just because I feel like I need to right now, Mike, how do you respond to the whole absolutely zero thematic illusions in the first 2 movies leading up to the reveal of Palpatine's resurrection for the third, whereas in the prequels you had a complete thematic connection for Anakin's turn to the dark side from first through the third movie? Like, it was all interconnected. You saw where it was going if you were paying attention.
So I guess my question, my counterpoint to that would be, was it really that fleshed out in the prequel trilogy?
Yeah, I mean, you saw the inability to let go of his emotions in the first movie, and his ability to start to hold a grudge a bit. In the second movie, you saw the release of anger and the heightened emotions compared to what the Jedi say you should be. And then by the third movie, it all just kind of finally snowballed. So you saw where his character was progressing, and then the big, ooh, he's Vader, and then Palpatine comes out as, ooh, he's the bad guy, even though you saw that in all the other movies to some extent. The reveal was natural, whereas Palpatine just kind of, I'm here.
No, yeah. So I will give you that the Palpatine one was the poof, I'm here, because we all know with The Last Jedi, things were going this way and then went way over here.
So, wait a minute. So, just riddle me this. Just answer me one question. There's 6 movies we're discussing.
Mm-hmm.
In your opinion, what's the worst one of the 6?
What's the worst one of the 6?
That we're discussing.
Either Attack of the Clones or Phantom Menace.
Wow.
Not Last Jedi?
I cannot believe that you would defend Last Jedi that way.
So Last Jedi
is
okay.
Horrible.
So the Canto Bite scene is 40 minutes of stuff I didn't need, almost like the pod race in Phantom Menace, but I'll leave that be.
But pod racing, was short, and B, gave us a really awesome video game. So...
Oh, so
also,
it was just a tie-in to sell toys and video
also
games. So
introduced a
Batman
character.
Got it.
Also introduced a character. Aurora Singh? Ring a bell?
No.
Go back and watch the Clone Wars again, Michael.
I probably need to. It's been a minute. But, of course you just got me off track. Okay, so Last Jedi actually tackled the teachings and the failures of the Jedi Council and the teachings of the Jedis and how they can be too one-sided better than the prequel trilogy did.
You had Mary Poppins in outer space.
Okay, we also saw that in Clone Wars.
You got...
Huh?
You have Mary Poppins...
Rebels.
Okay, once again, we're discussing the movies, not the animated shows, and even then, huh?
It's been tackled in different mediums, is what I'm saying.
So I'm still waiting for, because I watched Rebels. I don't recognize the scene. And that's being honest. Because quite honestly, I enjoyed Rebels up until the point they decided it was okay to time travel.
Yeah, that one was kind of weird.
The last 3 episodes that you threw away the entire series. My point being is that it's not just inside of one movie. The Last Jedi absolutely just sucked, for lack of a better way of putting it. And you have the best scene in the movie where Luke's doing the force projection and making Kylo look like the whiny little you-know-what that he is, and then they kill him. Really? I defend that.
So defend Qui-Gon Jinn getting blasted by Darth Maul in the first film that he's in.
Well, Qui-Gon didn't get blasted. He got beat by definitely a better lightsaber duel. I mean, but again, okay, so take that. That's the duel of the fates, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
so
on top of that, I mean, you got to
prequel.
remember the lightsaber colors do technically have some semblance. The green, blue, or red, and the green, of course, being a stronger connection to the Force, which in turn usually means a less focus on lightsaber dueling. So the fact that he held his own as long as he did against somebody whose specialty was just dueling was actually impressive.
And then Darth Maul got waxed by a Padawan.
Well,
Darth Maul,
really more he got
cut
down by a sucker punch is really what you got.
Is that what we want to go with? A sucker punch? Because, dude,
everybody's
jumped
susceptible to
30 feet in the air, caught a lightsaber, landed, turned around, and then got him.
Okay. Is that not hubris? Was Darth Maul not strutting up above and striking his lightsaber to create sparks, kind of bragging, lording over him? His hubris is what got him killed. If he would have just reached down and stabbed him between the eyes, we wouldn't have Obi-Wan. But no, he's got to strut like a, I'm better than you, and then you get cut, and then, oh, wait a minute, I got cut in half, now I'm falling down a tube.
Right,
Now, we do actually have one comment over on Facebook that is worth pointing out, which is, wouldn't it have been a better ending to the sequel trilogy if instead of the return of Palpatine, you had Kylo was the ultimate villain? You know, that would be the progression of his character.
So that's the rumor. If I remember right, that was the rumored plot of Trevorrow's screenplay, right? If I remember right.
Yep.
I didn't read all of the leaks for Trevorrow's, but if I remember right, there was no redemption plot of the Skywalker line, right?
Yes. No, it was supposed to go dark, stay dark, and yeah.
It would have been interesting.
Would it have made more sense?
It would have given you somewhere to go.
Well,
and if you really wanted to go with a callback to a previous storyline, it would have made more sense to have the sequel trilogy in that respect reflect back to the prequel trilogy, with the main, one of the main characters rising up to become the ultimate villain of that trilogy.
3 would have reflected 9. I mean, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I don't know if it makes more sense, and I can see it more than I can see the way they played this thing out. And I have my own feelings about the end of The Rise of Skywalker, because I think when Kylo puts his hand on her abdomen that he impregnates her when Kylo touches her. So I think...
Whoa! I thought this was a family show. Whoa!
I use scientific big words, Michael. It's okay.
Okay, so now we're going into the realm of fanfic. Got it. I mean, I know this is the internet and all, but like, maybe let's try to avoid the fanficky realm. I feel like that's going way down the wrong direction here.
No, look, to wrap this segment up, because I'm sure Brad wants to move on. Look, I never got from the prequel trilogy that this was the natural progression of Anakin Skywalker to Darth Vader. I got the, hey, this is where the story has to end. We're just going to make some crap up to kind of get us there.
Okay, so I can say that exact phrase about the sequel trilogy. To me, they just made some stuff up to get us to the end so they can say the Skywalker movies are over. And that's my problem with the whole thing.
But Lucas did the same thing with his own prequel trilogy. And then if you actually read the leaks about what... None of the prequel trilogy felt like required viewing. There was nothing different. There was nothing that was exciting. There was nothing that was new. Oh, hey, C-3PO and R2-D2 are here, but they're not mentioned knowing or remembering. Oh, but that's because we memory wiped them.
Okay, something that Luke was going to do to R2 in A New Hope. I mean, if you remember, he was supposed to take the droids into town and get their memories erased, Michael.
Right, but that doesn't come up in... So, that just... Darth Vader doesn't bring any of this up to anybody. Darth Vader doesn't mention that he... Darth Vader doesn't even mention the fact that he senses another Skywalker child throughout the first 2 movies until halfway through Return of the Jedi.
Okay, so that was actually handled, and again, this is where I go back to appreciating Lucas's handling of the Star Wars universe versus what Disney has done with it, because that was actually handled in a book called Shadows of the Empire.
Who wrote that?
Steven something or another. I can't...
Not George Lucas. Got it.
Okay, it's the one book that Lucas did say, I wish I'd have made the movie of this. So at least he can show appreciation for it.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, as much as I hate to admit it, Shadows isn't canon anymore. So, that's the one downside to its beneficial contribution. Because it really was a very strong story and a great addition to the series. So we'll discuss
and see, there
that
goes
later.
back to
Yeah.
because
Sorry, continue.
Which one continue?
I was giving somebody. Aren't you supposed to be refereeing this thing?
I
You're just
mean,
gonna let us break metal chairs out and start swinging them? What's going on?
well, I mean, you guys have surprisingly calmed down a bit and become a bit more reasonable adults finally. So
We can be.
I'm kind of proud of you. I mean,
I can
it's
be
a low
civil with
bar,
David.
but I'm kind of proud.
okay, the fact that you called me a reasonable adult is offensive, and I thought this was a family show.
So,
All right, where do you want to go to
we
next?
talked about
Since
we
you're
talked
apparently
about
driving
the
this.
right.
Off a cliff.
We've
Terrible
talked
vehicle.
about the story. We've talked about the weaknesses of each of the trilogies. I think the big thing that we haven't really touched on very much is the cinematography. Which one looked better? Like, just when you're watching it, which one really felt more enjoyable to watch? I mean, you have the sequels, which had a lot of that J.J. flair mixed in with Rian Johnson. The prequels, you had all of George Lucas's preferences and some pretty impressive space fights, at least in the third one. So the question is, which was better? Like, which looked better to watch?
Can I start?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Look, I think the worst decision that Lucas made about the prequel trilogy was getting back in the director's chair.
Okay.
I don't think... I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but up to that point, what did it have been? 15 years to direct a movie? 10 years?
I'll look it up. Keep going.
A minimum
you
is
had
going to be 16 years because 83 to 99.
Yeah. So yeah, 16. But so you had a guy that hadn't been back in the director's chair in close to 2 decades with new technology that I will still never understand reasons why decided to pump it in every scene that he possibly could, when in the original trilogy that started 25 years earlier, he used as much practical effects as he possibly could.
He invented effects, for crying out loud.
That's something that I will never get. And I don't look, I'm not trying to, I don't want to come across as that edgy dude that wants to bash Lucas. Like, I love the original trilogy. I do.
Yeah.
Minus Ewoks knocking out the Empire, but I'll get over it. But for the time, some of the most beautifully shot effects in films, in the sci-fi genre, they still hold up today.
So,
Now,
in fairness
a
to
lot of
George
that-
on that one, he did actually explain his reasoning. I mean, he did say that the reason why he wanted to go so CGI heavy was because his one regret in the original trilogy was that there was always a physical limitation of what practical effects could show in terms of his the different space things that he wanted to be able to bring to life. There was only so much that was physically possible, whereas CGI gave him new options that practical effects could not physically recreate. That was his reasoning behind what he did with prequels. So to be fair, he did answer that question. Whether or not you like the answer is a whole different thing.
But when JJ took over as the director of The Force Awakens, he made a conscious effort, and he said he was going to use as many practical effects as possible.
Sure.
And it comes across like it's beautifully shot. Like, and look, say what you want about Abrams, I don't think that there were enough lens flares in Force Awakens. I wanted a lens flare every time 2 lightsabers hit. I wanted a lens flare off of every blaster bolt. I wanted lens flares left and right. And you can say that he's not a great writer, but he knows how to shoot a very good-looking film. So does Ryan Johnson. Last Jedi is
It's Rian. So
No, it is Ryan.
It's Ryan.
He's pronounced his own name before. It is Ryan. It just spelled
No,
weird.
he says it's Rian because of what he did to Star Wars.
Okay,
Look, you can hate The Last Jedi. It is a beautifully shot film.
So, do you remember my opening statement about the prequel versus the sequel?
No.
Of course not. Short-term memory loss. Too many
I've
gets to
slept
the head.
since then.
I said that the effects in the prequel were overdone. Okay, so I can give you the point that the sequel have a better look to them. That's an easy one for me to say, okay, I can push that across the table, and I can just say, yeah, okay, you're right, because I can't in good conscience defend the massive amount of CGI, some of it good, some of it not so good, in the prequel. I personally just can't. But I will say that it did give you some characters that stuck. Whether you liked them or not, because of the CGI, you did get some characters that stuck.
Well, yeah, we got
Jar
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 Jar.
Binks?
Thanks, George. Appreciate that.
Misa thinks it's kind of funny.
Misa hates you. Misa hates you a lot.
But you got Dexter. You got Dexter from the diner. How do you not love Dexter?
And Watto
You got
and
the Camino.
Sabulba, and of course, all the Caminos.
Yeah, you big
Or
poodle.
Kaminoans.
I mean, come on. But you got characters that you wouldn't have got otherwise. So there's good and bad to it. But I will give you to look at the sequels is a better looking movie than what the prequels are. I don't have a problem with that. That doesn't make them better.
Well, I mean, visually they are better.
Okay.
As actual films from front to back, they are better made and put together.
If you're just looking at it visually and you don't have to hear anything, then okay. And if you know nothing about Star Wars, then okay.
Well,
But if you know anything about Star Wars, you cannot tell me that sequels are those three movies are better.
you're right. I would love more midichlorians in my movies.
Well, I would like less Mary Poppins in mine.
I will take Mary Poppins over Parasite in Your Blood, giving you the ability to manipulate items.
You go with Parasite. I say it's just an organism.
Bacteria. Actually, I think the line is bacteria, if I remember right.
Well, I mean, does it really matter? Because they didn't even bother mentioning midichlorians after the Phantom Menace.
Not
Yes, they
one.
did. Yes, they did. They mentioned it in Revenge of the Sith.
When?
When he's telling him the story of Darth Plagueis.
Oh, man. That was one time.
Literally, the entire theory of how Anakin Skywalker came to be is based around midichlorians.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the
we've never
floating
heard
theory
about
that
them
the
again.
Emperor's his father.
I said, yeah, we've never heard about the midichlorians again. Not any of the books, comics, shows, nothing.
You're right, because everybody heard that and thought it was dumb as hell. But if Lucas had made his sequel trilogy, it would have been all about midichlorians.
We're not talking about that. we don't need to talk about that.
Vicious
So-
rumor.
Vicious rumor, yep. Lies and slander. Lies and slander.
It's fair.
That's what the internet's for.
Right?
So then, last question, and this one is more of just personal speculation. But
Sure.
what do you guys think would be the best way to explain the whiplash that we got with the prequel trilogy, going from the most hated thing ever to be made by Star Wars, including the holiday special, to the sequel series coming out, and everybody starts looking back at the prequels going, well, we gotta be able to forgive George. I mean, he was well intentioned. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so Michael, I got a whole diatribe about this. You know I
Look,
do.
So I think a lot of it comes down to, look, and I think a lot of it is just Disney hate. I think people think I think it's the cool thing to hate Disney.
Sure.
Really?
You're starting to see it. You don't think so, David?
No, I'll get to my point, but I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay.
I'll let you finish.
So I think some of it is Disney hate, right? Because Disney also started catching flack after they bought Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
and they still actually they still the internet community still likes to rip on Marvel, that they're formulaic and that they're this and they're that and that they're not that well-made films and everything like that. So I think there is something behind the fact that it is Disney backed. I think a lot of people, I think when George sold Star Wars, I think a lot of people viewed it as a guy waving the white flag. Like, I gave you the I gave you the original trilogy. I made the prequels to show you where the story started. You literally all crap over it. And then the wheels just kind of kept spinning and spinning and spinning on the sequel trilogy to the point where look, the guy said that he wanted to make another trilogy and that he originally envisioned Star Wars as like a 9 to 10 film thing. And then it just got to the point where he didn't want anything to do with it ever again.
No, that's because of the vitriol that was spewed. I mean, the problem I have when I look at it is that George Lucas created it, right? I love the original trilogy. I was 6 years old when A New Hope came out. Yes, I'm old, Michael. You can quit referring to that.
I think the term is geriatric. And then my favorite F word.
Friend. Exactly.
I kept it PG.
Thank you for that.
But so I look at it as Lucas is the one who gave us, and you know this, gave us Star Wars. Right. So with what he did with the prequels, okay, are there mistakes in there? Sure. Are there things I like? Yes. Are there things I don't like? Absolutely. Right. But once it was sold, okay, to Disney, at first I was rather excited about it because I like a lot of the Marvel movies, like Iron Man, the original Iron Man. I love that movie. Thor, I think is good. I like Captain America. I like the Avengers movies. So I was looking at it going, okay, maybe we get a fresh eye. I knew George was done. I mean, the backlash, the hate that he had received, he wanted to just walk away from it because of that type of, and the internet is part of it, the type of just spewing of.
Thanks, Al Gore. Appreciate that.
These things that he was getting thrown at him and his family. I mean, his kids were feeling it, to where I get it. But when Disney then turned around to my generation and said, oh, well, everything you did to keep this alive for 40 years, 30 years, we don't want anything to do with that. That became a problem for a lot of the fan base. I mean, a lot of.
So can I push back a little bit on that, David?
You could try.
So I guess how is that any different than, say, like in the comic books when you get a retcon, or when you get a crossover event like, say, Crisis on Infinite Earths, or like Final Crisis, or like something like that, where it's, hey, we have a singular event that is now reshaping history moving forward. Okay, so here's the problem with that.
Yeah. It has not been done in Star Wars, period. There were over 150 books that were in the Star Wars universe that did not break the timeline. Yes, characters died. Chewbacca died. Sorry, world, if you haven't read the book, it's called Back to Prime, pick it up. Chewbacca dies. That, we lose characters, but they kept developing them. Luke, finds a wife who's, murdered by Han and Leia's oldest son. There's a whole litany of things that were going on for us, the people that were there at the beginning, and then folks who came in along the way. So the vitriol that you hear from people of my generation is the fact that you took everything that we invested time, money, love in and said, you just wasted all this time on this because we're not gonna recognize it. And then to turn around in the movies and pick and choose what they wanted to from the expanded universe, and then do that with Rebels. Thrawn, I'm sorry, he's expanded universe, but we're gonna pluck him out, and now we're gonna change, his story just a bit. But then we're going to go back and give you the comic book of his origin story that matches up exactly with what his origin was in the expanded universe. So what you get is this type of just animosity towards them, and you don't have a single person to put it at, Michael. Everybody got mad at George for the prequel. Mm-hmm. Pointed right at him and said it's his fault. Okay? You have 3 directors, you have several writers, you have an entity that is Disney. So you don't have that, why did you do this? You have the, everybody wants to blame Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, you can blame her, you can blame Pablo Hidalgo for that matter. He used to keep her the holocron. What did he do? He didn't stop it. So that's for me personally, that's where the problem comes in at. Is that, I have spent a whole lot of time of my life investing in these characters and watching them grow, and then you come in and make a movie right at the end of the timeline for the expanded universe, but throw it all out. 2 books, you could wrap up where you were at in the expanded universe, which is already hinting that there was a rise of the Sith somewhere in the unknown regions. Already hinting in the last book. You could have written 2 books, wrapped up a couple of storylines, and went forward with a movie that could have encompassed everything. Instead, you told a whole grouping of people that's not part of Star Wars anymore.
So,
and that cuts.
I guess... Oh, sorry. Go.
No, I'm just saying that cuts. I mean, that hurts, man. I mean, it's... Yeah, I don't know how else to phrase it.
No, dude, hey, look, I totally hear that. I totally get that. Like, I mean, you and I have talked multiple times about my love of comics and reading and going back and reading stuff that after a big event never happened, and then another big event happens and it did happen, and then now it's not canon. Now, look, it's confusing because, like you said, you invest in those characters, you invest in those stories, and now they're telling you that it's not part of the story moving forward. So is Disney to blame for that because they wanted to take the story in a different direction with the property that they bought, that they now owned the rights to? I think George could have just as easily said, I'm not selling it to you unless you continue on with the story from point here and you continue to recognize everything moving forward.
When you're in the position George was in, which was you had a franchise that you love, but you were facing so much hate from the internet community and fanboys all over the place, and fangirls, let's be realistic. I got to include the other gender, otherwise I'm sexist. But you get to a point where you're like, I can't do this because you've taken the fun away from it. And so he looks at it and says, oh, and Disney's been trying to buy it. It wasn't like it was
right.
Yeah, they had been coming at him for a few years saying, hey, we're right over here. And then, they come in with the same money they're going to offer Marvel, and George says, no, I want the .01 on the end of it.
Which is the biggest load of crap in the history of ever.
He just wanted that was an ego thing.
I know.
And, he's entitled to have an ego. You should know you have one that, you don't.
I am an incredibly humble, level-headed individual.
Okay, easy there, Pinocchio. But back to my original point is that you sell it, and you do it when you say you throw out that .01. Maybe that would have been Disney's breaking point. Then you said okay, and he's like, all right, well, I sold it for more than what you bought Marvel for. I'm out. You guys are going to do what you want to do with it. These fanboys have destroyed my sense of it, and I'm kind of I'm gonna take a break, and I'm gonna relax, and I'm gonna let the entity that is Disney feel all the hate that I have felt for so many years, and that's what they're experiencing. because they decided that, all these things that George controlled, because George controlled the storyline of Star Wars from point A to point B. You didn't write a book that didn't fit in the timeline. You didn't put a comic out there that didn't fit in the timeline. There are many books I heard, saw with it, this is going to come out, and then, that one got squashed. Can't write it because it didn't match up. So you take all of that and you throw it out. And that's where you get the vitriol from fans in Disney, is because you just said, you told a group of people, your opinion doesn't matter. And you do that to anybody on anything, you're going to get backlash.
All right. Well, guys, I believe we have gone well enough over time that we probably...
What's your thought, Brad?
We probably adequately pissed off every segment of fanboys out there. I feel like it's about time to go ahead and jump to the end credits on this one.
No, you don't get to skate. What's your opinion, Brad?
I'm the referee. I have no opinions.
Wow, that's so weak. I am not proud of you at this moment, Bradley.
Yeah, well, we're at 56 minutes, so we don't have time for opinions.
Cool. Take 2 minutes, Brad. Take 2 minutes. Go ahead. The floor is yours. 2 minutes.
I'm good. I can't condense mine into 2 minutes. So, with that, if you guys have actually made it this long, thank you so much. I'm genuinely impressed. And right now, over on Facebook, we got 3 of y'all that have been hanging on. So, I'd love to give you a medal, or I don't know, buy you a drink, or I don't know, there's some
pay for
candy
your
at
therapy
you.
session.
I tell you what, hey, everybody watching on Facebook right now, comment before the end of the video on your opinion, and I will respect you more than Brad.
Wow. Okay. But seriously, guys, thank you. We always appreciate you guys jumping on and checking out our videos. And like we said at the beginning of the video, if this is your first time watching us, thank you so much. Don't forget, if you've not already, please go over and follow us on Facebook and like the video, and of course like the video and subscribe over on YouTube. And if you like our stuff but don't always have time for the videos, you can always get the audio over at Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, and Stitcher. And of course, if you are a returning fan, please don't forget to share us with your friends. We'd love to be able to get their thoughts on all this too. And of course, one more time, question of the day: what are your thoughts? Please, like Mike said, down in the comments below, tell us. We'd love to hear from you. Guys, thank you for joining us. David, please, we'd love to have you back again sometime, because this was a lot of fun. Mike, glad you're able to stay mostly in control.
I did better than you thought I would.
We're going to train you to use that censor button. Now,
I did better than you thought I would, didn't I?
I did.
Admit it.
I think you did, and I was impressed, ish. But there's, yeah. With that, guys, thank you so much. I'm Brad. That's Mike. We're Dallas Geek. That is our friend David. And until next time, see ya.
Victory is mine.